Okay, guys, we're going to talk about the battles after and the way the war went after the Declaration of Independence and the the George Washington's army is in New York, and the king sends forces to New York to battle, and you can see they're coming in, and Washington is going to be overwhelmed by these English forces, surrounded, and he is going to withdraw under cover of fog at night. So this is going to be one of many that George Washington will experience. You can see he is very quickly retreating here from New York. After the retreat from New York, the army is kind of feeling bad, and you know, we've got to pay them in some way. So the Continental Congress decides to print money. This is paper currency that was issued by the Congress, worth a lot today, but back then they said it was not worth a continental. Inflation will ensue, and it's said that they actually burned this money to keep warm at Valley Forge because it wasn't worth any. So Washington desperately needs a victory, and you've probably seen this painting. This is Washington crossing the Delaware on Christmas to take Trenton. Christmas Eve they go across, they land on Christmas Day, and there are a bunch of German Hessians, mercenaries that have been hired, and this is the victory that George Washington needs.
These are the times that try men's souls. First time I heard somebody quote this, I was in 10th grade. I thought she was quoting Metallica. I'm thinking, yeah! But actually, Metallica was quoting Thomas Paine on the Black Album, which is a very patriotic album. You can see the Don't Tread on Me snake if you look closely enough. Thomas Paine wrote this in late 1776. And of course, in early 1776, in January, Thomas Paine had written Common Sense, which was a pamphlet designed to persuade Americans to support the cause of independence, because the British had a corrupt system of monarchy, because the British government was not good, and also because it is possible. The bulk of Common Sense is persuading Americans that it is possible to defeat Britain in a war. And so by July, the Continental Congress finally gets around to declaring independence 15 months after the first shots were fired in the war. And these men sign the Declaration of Independence, pledging their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, only to find disaster. That fall, George Washington's Continental Army was given an annihilating defeat at Long Island, otherwise known as the Battle of Brooklyn. This was the largest battle in the Revolutionary War, and Washington had to retreat. Several thousand men were captured, and this was a disgrace for the Continental Army. Add to that the colonies, well, now the United States, now we're a country, right? These new United States had no money, so the Continental Congress thought, well, that's no problem, we'll just print some. And so they make these continental notes. They print this paper money just over and over, and we're going to pay our soldiers with this stuff, this worthless paper money. Paper money that was so worthless that patriots said that it was not worth a continental if something was worthless. That's just not worth a continental. And our soldiers are getting paid with basically IOUs, and they're not winning any battles. And did I mention that a lot of their enlistments expire at the end of 1776? So now Thomas Paine, who spent so much time in early 1776 persuading Americans to declare independence, now has to pick up his pen again and persuade Americans not to give up the fight. How does he do this? Well, using his powers of persuasion. These are the times that try men's souls. Your very soul is on trial. Will you measure up, innocent or guilty? And he goes ahead and describes the guilty parties. He says, the summer soldier and the sunshine patriot. Remember Spirit Fingers from whatever movie that's on? All right, think about this, all right? So how do you motivate somebody to keep up a fight? Well, you could say it's the right thing to do, but really, who cares about that? If you want to motivate soldiers, question their manhood. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. Oh, summer soldier, sunshine patriot, okay? The wimpy people, the folks with the spirit fingers. Are you one of those people? Is your soul going to be found guilty when it's on trial? Or are you going to be one of those people who is going to stick it out and deserve, as Thomas Paine says, the love and thanks of man and woman? And so that's the essence of the crisis. So part of the reason that people are going to keep fighting is because after Thomas Paine has written this, and George Washington has made sure that this letter is read to every soldier in the Continental Army, so they know that if they put their musket down and walk away, that people will be looking at them askance, maybe coughing a little bit. Summer soldier, sunshine patriot. Maybe making a little spirit finger gesture, because these are not real men. Now, of course, the thing is, if my family is going hungry and I'm not getting paid any money and the Army's not winning any battles, we also need a victory. Not a big victory, really, any victory will do. Just give us a victory. And so Washington finds out that a group of Hessians, fancy word for Germans, these were mercenaries that were hired by King George III of England, who was of German ancestry himself. But these Hessians are at Trenton, New Jersey, and they are camped out on Christmas Eve in their winter quarters. And, of course, what does the stereotypical German like to do? He likes to get drunk, and especially on a holiday. So Washington thinks this would be a great time for a victory. And so the night of Christmas Eve, he musters his men, and they get on boats, and they go across the Delaware. Everybody's seen this picture, whether it's on the Delaware Quarter or whether they've just seen the picture of Washington crossing the Delaware, much like Caesar had crossed the Rubicon years ago. I mean, looking so heroic and about to accomplish this great victory. Not a great victory, but a victory. So the Hessians are warned that Washington's coming, and the commander just kind of ignores it. I think he puts the message in his pocket or something like that. I don't have one of those, but if I did, I'd put the message right here. I don't have a message either, by the way. So Washington is going across this icy Delaware River, and the next morning at 9 o'clock, he's actually running late, but that's fine because the Germans are hungover. And Washington goes into the city with a three-prong attack and captures a few thousand Hessians. Victory! That echoed a little bit. I'm outside trying something new. Now, we've got a victory. So Thomas Paine has questioned the manhood of every soldier in the Continental Army, and Washington has achieved a victory. The Continental Army has survived 1776, the most difficult year of the Revolution. These are the times that try men's souls, and thankfully for us, Americans were not found guilty. Until next time. right, it is their duty to throw off such government.
Okay, so now you can actually go to that link and watch the drunk history about this if you'd like. We're not going to do. Okay, this is showing the battle map of the Battle of Trenton. You can see he goes across the river here, launches this three-prong attack, and then he goes to Princeton and he has another victory. So these soldiers are going to stick with him, although we'll see that there are a lot of folks that kind of go back to plant and then maybe come back and forth. There was not a whole lot of time. Thomas Paine, he references this. His dilemma is that these enlistments are expiring, the economy sucks. Writes The American Crisis. This is great language. Hopefully you took some notes on that. The Summer Soldier and the Sunshine Patriot. Question their manhood. I love this line. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with this: at the heart of the conflict, the more glorious the. So they're going to endure a terrible, terrible winter, but they are going to have a little help from a guy named Baron von Steuben. And so we'll look at this short video.
Valley Forge, winter 1778. Thomas Paine. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. I am seeing the best minds of my generation waste away in pestilence and starvation. Is this all a test, or have we met our doom? Have we set up camp or parameters for our tomb? I have never seen His Excellency so despondent, so I've taken over writing all his correspondence. I have written Congress and received dishonest responses. I am beyond comprehension of their nonsense. They say saddle up, attack the British forces. I shoot back, we have resorted to eating our horses. Local merchants deny us equipment, assistance. They only take British money, so sing a song of sixpence. 60 tents full of dysentery, death, dying breath, and dilettantes and deserters in the distance. Congress, I beg of you, justify your existence. All you men are just a bunch of indigenous infants. Unite these states, give them stakes in our resistance. Do you have no influence at all, you fucking skinflints? Hamilton, tone it down. But sir, Alex, listen, there's only one way for us to win this. Provoke outrage, outright. Don't engage, strike by night. Remain relentless till their troops take flight. Make it impossible to justify the cost of the fight. Outrun, outrun, outlast, outlast. Hit 'em quick, get out fast. Stay alive until this horror show is past. We're gonna fly a lot of flags half-mast. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let you just click on that link as well, and hopefully listen to that Hamilton. This is showing Trenton. Okay, this is the training video that I was going to show with Baron von Steuben. position for us. Now we go up to the northern part of the fighting, and the strategy was the English were supposed to cut New England off from the rest of the country, and they were going to have troops come down from Canada, and then the gentleman Johnny Burgoyne, Gates was supposed to come up from New York. It was supposed to be this well-planned conversion that would completely cut New England off. Benedict Arnold actually forestalls this with Lake Ontario, Lake Champlain. He doesn't get a whole lot of credit for it, but he's going to be there with and the objective, cutting off New England from the rest of the colonies. But not everybody showed up, and this is going to be the turning point. So the Battle of Saratoga, Burgoyne's forces were surrounded by the Continental Army, and you've got Gates and Benedict Arnold, very, very good shots, and they're aiming for officers. And this will be a great victory for the Continental Army. So why is this a turning point of the war? Because at this point, this is when France comes in and Spain comes in, and they start supporting the troops, okay? Once again, you can click on this link and you can see a recap on that Battle of Saratoga. So now we have an alliance. France signs a treaty of alliance with the United States. We're also going to get some help from Spain and some other European nations that hate England. This is the monument at Saratoga that shows the battle.